Hi there, thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm Ghost Prime. I want to take a look at the Legacy United Core Class Energon Megatron in this video. He's a very little guy, and as he's Core Class, and I'm going to go over some of the features on him and compare him to the original. Spoilers, I thought this would be better. I don't know what I really had in mind for it, but I really like this design, and yeah, kind of disappointed. Anyway, I'm going to keep this video short, so please like, subscribe, let me know what you think of this guy. Are you going to be picking up one for your collection? Without any further ado, let's get to the review. Here is Megatron in the box. I have not yet opened him at this point of the review. So he is Legacy United, the new logo. On the top there, shows him in his alt mode. Turn to the side, it has the new Legacy artwork, 40 years. On the back, 11 steps into his spaceship mode. On the other side, we get a close-up of the spaceship. Legacy United there. And let's get him open. Here he is out of the package with his accessories. And he comes with these two identical green shoulder-mounted pieces here. They have both tabs here, and they are hollow. But that is so he could hold in his hand. He could hold it. Oh, it kind of pops out. But he can hold it in his hand like so. On his shoulders. Like that to mimic the larger one. And you could even put them like this again to mimic the larger figure. I'm going to go ahead and just put both of them on the top. He comes with his tank, which is really nicely detailed. No paint at all, but really nicely detailed. The sword is molded into the rear of it and is very hollow on the underside. And you can see a port, so you can put it on either arm in either direction, either with the turret side down or the sword side down, however you would like. And this is him armed up. So taking a real close look at the sculpt work of the head here, it actually is not a poorly done head. The sculpt looks nice. It's got a lot of detail on it. And the face is painted white with kind of an orangey red eyes. It would be nice if it was the like blue color of the original, but I think this one mimics the cartoon a little more. You see the Decepticon logo there, blue paint on the abdomen or the stomach there with the belt part. There's the crotch area. No paint on the knees at all. Blue painted the arrow parts. And the feet. Well, maybe I get a little bit more detail on this. On the tank there. Which again is nicely sculpted all the way down. Turn him around. Big hollow port on his back. Paint shows up on the wings, which I think are actually probably molded in this green. But they did a pretty nice job with the paint here, kind of the blue all the way around, so it doesn't just have this giant green thing hanging off the back. He looks pretty decent as far as that's concerned. So articulation wise, his arms get hindered by these little transformation piece here, which is annoying, but it is on a ball joint. So if you could kind of get it 360, it might work. With this, it only goes out to there. You can move the head 360, but it's super hollow in the back. It has one joint here at the elbow, which also serves as a bicep. Nothing at the fists. I'll put that back on there. No waist articulation. You can kick that far, and he can bend his knee pretty far. Move that out, and he can move his leg pretty far that way. No ankle tilts, but he does have it up and down his foot due to transformation. And here he is with Core Class Optimus, who is just a bit taller than him. There he is with Core Class Megatron. Again, you can see he is a tad bit shorter. He also feels like he has less plastic. Like he's not quite as weighty as this one. And for the final comparison, here he is with his original full-size version. He is very small, being a Core Class. So, you know, I can't knock it too much because it's a core class. It's not gonna be as good as this. But I think they could have like had fill in some of these plastic bits. This hollowness is outrageous. Also, they did have the orange paint on the eyes, but there's no orange paint anywhere else. If you look at his feet, knees, little dots here and there, they could have at least done the dots. That's not a lot of paint. That budget would have been small for just some dots. It would just brought it out a lot more. Little parts on the knees would have brought this out a lot more to at least look like this. I mean, so the sculpt work is there on this, matching this. Overall, though, it doesn't really work, I think. But there you go. And getting into transformation. First thing is just take off the tank turret there. And then there's a tab here, as I showed earlier. And you just kind of put an arm down like that. And you take the fists, move that up and around, up. Kind of do it on both. Move the wing out of the way. Actually, before you do that, I'm going to actually back up a little bit. Go ahead and keep the arms like that. You can tab them in if you want. This top piece is going to come up like the original. The instructions say to turn his head around. And then that goes over the top of his head. Snaps into those two little ports. Then you take this whole piece, again like the original. Move that all the way around. Then the arms can come up like that. The fists just stay up like that and don't go anywhere. Both sides. And then you take the legs, take the feet, like this. Oh, I did forget one thing. He does have a thigh rotation. It is right there. It's for transformation, though. There's a tab right there that actually tabs in to a slot there. So kind of like the original. Move his feet like this. And plug that in. Feet around and plug that in. And there you have him in his jet mode. And it's all right. It's okay. No landing gear of any sort, so he just kind of sits there. The tank turret does fit on top. There's two ports right there and two slots right there in the bottom. And you kind of slot that in, and it holds fairly well. That's how it looks there. And it is all Blast Effect compatible. So these are Blast Effects can fit kind of all over it, like right there on the tank turret and even on the wings. And I wish the wings were better because like if you put the wings up a little bit, that look good. Then you have the fists really showing there. Just kind of stick it up. And that piece keeps falling off while I'm moving around, so it's staying off for the moment. If you move them all the way down like that to hide the fists, it does no longer becomes a spaceship. So kind of irritating there. I don't know. I think they could have done more. It shows that it's pretty hollow under the underside. I really think they could have done more if the things just keep falling apart off this guy. It's all right. You know, you got some paint here on the cockpit that shows up that you didn't see in the robot mode. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Here's a quick comparison with the originals. You see, it just lacks paint, lacks detail. There's a lot to lack. Of course, I mean, I'm not going to expect that it's going to, you know, match this thing for sure. It could not match this thing. I think the green color is completely out of place. I mean, maybe if they went with something a little bit more mint like this rather than this really bright fluorescent green, it would work better. A little bit more paint would work. I think would make this pop a lot better. But something I could custom probably, but I just don't want to, you know. Even on the back, nothing really much to say there. I mean, I know it can't compare. Like, I'm not really trying to be like, hey, it's not as good as the giant one, you know. But I would like to see one that does a little bit more to mimic this. Anyway, on to final thoughts. So that was Core Class Energon Megatron. Should you get him? I think he's a little overpriced for even for $11. I really do. If this was like the $5 range, that's cool. I think that's kind of where this thing lives. I think maybe they might be testing the waters, at least I hope, for like a larger version, because that's something I would pick up. This did not live up to my expectations. I mean, I don't know exactly what I expected, but I expected something a little better than this. Transformation's just not good. I mean, it mimics the original, but he has his fists just sticking out there, hiding under the wings, which you could never get in exactly the right position to look like a ship. It's not very good. It's just not. It doesn't hit those marks that the older one did, even though the older one's a much larger figure. Anyway, let me know what you think about this guy in the comments, and I'll see you in the next review.